You know that spark you used to feel? The one that made you want to laugh and flirt a little bit and feel alive in your own skin? If that spark's gone dim lately, you are not broken, okay? Your body's just trying to tell you something. So remember that kind of va va voom that was in there? Well, I want us to talk about it today. Hello and welcome to Feel Better, Feel Great podcast, reconnecting body and vibrancy, hormone health, low libido, and intimacy. In each episode of my podcast, I like to dive into holistic healthcare so that you are empowered with knowledge and you can then lead a healthier, happier life. I'm your host, Dr. Andrea McSwain. If you're new to me, please like, subscribe, and click that bell for this channel for YouTube. And please get on my email list. We've got a really great handout for this episode, and I want you to get it because I think this is a really important conversation. So I just want to get started with it. Okay, so first of all, we have to get real with this, right? I mean, if your energy is down, your motivation's down, and then the last thing you want to do is share that kind of feeling with another person, and you can feel alone in that, right? But it's like sometimes that just feels safer, like, oh, I don't want that, it's just better to kind of close off, right? Because then it's like, oh, you have to talk and share and touch and all those things, right? But it's this is real, and this is the mind body connection that we're going after here when we talk about this and this level of vitality. Okay, so first of all, it's not in your head, something's actually going on, which means you can do something about it. And I love that. We often talk about libido and this inner drive. It starts to get kind of dampened, right? And this isn't a character flaw, it's your body waving a flag saying something's off. Okay, maybe it's your hormones, which maybe it's your thyroid, maybe you're just burnout, maybe you are caregiving too much, maybe you're actually suffering from something else, and you just don't know how to express that. Or a lot of times these are also about intimacy issues because there's something actually going on in your body. So again, I'm going to cover all those in this episode. All right. um, you know Women tell me in my practice, and men too. I have a clinic, and so I have patients who are men and women. So I hear this across the board, right? But women tell me often that they feel really disconnected, right? I mean, women are a little more vulnerable in some respects, but men have this going on. So I'm not saying that at all. But women are just a little more vulnerable because our bodies change so significantly with all these happenings, and we get really caught up in this and body image, and that's obviously a lot of it's been construed to us, right? It's a social paradigm, right? And so a lot of us, that's part of it, and that has changed so much, but that's a different conversation. But anyway, you start to feel disconnected, right, from your partner, even your family. You don't want to talk about how you look or how you feel. You don't really hug anyone, right? You're supposed to get 11 hugs a day. I know I fall very short of that for sure. But anyway, we do start to feel connected. We start to feel connected from our loved ones, particularly if you have a partner with a lot of intimacy. We start to feel disconnected from our bodies, right? And of course, we feel disconnected from the confidence that we used to know. So anyway, I just wanted to say that, and then today it's stop let's stop treating low libido, right? Like that's let's stop treating it like it's a secret shame, and let's start seeing it connected to vibrancy, confidence, hormone balance, right? And the body's functioning really well, kind of connecting just that vibrancy to feeling strong, feeling confident in our bodies. And that comes with libido, or a desire to have a physical intimacy or connection with another person. I want to just talk about a few hormone connections here. So it's going to get a little like um doctory, I guess. So I'm trying to make sure that happens little. So this is, we know we need estrogen. Estrogen keeps tissues soft. It keeps mood steady, right? So we know when estrogen drops right before our cycles, so does comfort. And then we see there, from a physical perspective, that can have a lot of changes. in female gyne tissue, like dryness, irritation, itchy. So if those are some of your symptoms, we definitely want to look towards estrogen. Okay, testosterone is not just a guy thing. And I'm all about women developing their testosterone, all about men developing their testosterone. And you'd be surprised. You've got to get your testosterone checked, especially men, especially your spouse. This is a lot about executive stress, and this is a really important hormone. So while I'm definitely talking mostly to women, I want to talk to men too, because a lot of my female patients have male partners. I think that's really important. You need to have a situation. Now, remember too, this isn't just about a sexual relationship or physical desire. This is also about your confidence and testosterone. Think about those muscles, that muscle tone, right? Drive, motivation, confidence, right? That's what testosterone gives you. Now, testosterone, you want to check that level. You want to know how it's feeling inside of you. And again, just a caution, just don't dope with tea. Like doping with tea is testosterone. Just don't dope with it. Like the point is we need to build it. We need to make it. We need to get it converted because it's really powerful and it has a lot to do with libido, of course. It has a lot to do with vitality, but you can't just like always just like get that in a pill. Like you can't, especially testosterone. So buyer beware with that. All right. What do I love? DHEA. DHEA is an adrenal hormone. It helps your body make estrogen and testosterone, and stress can drain it. And when people have DHEA levels that are really good, I see that transformation. So DHEA, we have that opportunity to supplement with DHEA, which is really good upstream. People do really well with it. And when we do that, we can actually get those adrenals, right? That confidence coming from our adrenals, our locus of control in the body. And also it can help us counter some of that stress that makes us lower our libido and vitality feelings. All right. Obviously, thyroid, that sets the pace for everything. When it slows or sluggish, that does to your metabolism, your mind, and of course, your interest in intimacy or connection with other people. And a confidence with yourself. Okay, last hormone connection here, cortisol, your stress hormone. This steals the very building blocks for your sex hormones, right? It is a big hormone heist, but more than that, cortisol, you can feel like really like heavy and full, you fluid retain, you're erratic. I mean, it's like you don't even want a relationship with yourself when your cortisol is crazy. You're either like dragging or you're like super like roidy, right? You're just like, rawr. So anyway, those are some of the hormone connections. And when you have to understand these, right? And so first I want you to understand that those are things that you can get tested. For women, I have root cause hormone testing, and this is a way to understand some of those hormones and really get a hold of them. And remember, there's a lot of nutrients in this gap. So low vitamin D, that is my go-to trick for building testosterone, especially for men. Get that vitamin D up. It makes everything. Magnesium can really calm the muscles. It can just chill you out. So you kind of like stop getting all stressed out. And you're just in this really comfortable zone of like, oh, yeah, good, and that's important. Okay. And then there's some other nutrients as well. We can get into those in a later podcast episode. But remember, low libido isn't about desire. It's about energy. It's about vitality. It's kind of a metric, right, for longevity. When your hormones are flowing right, then your vitality flows. And that's the cool thing about it. So let's get into this emotional relationship layer, right? When your hormones shift, your brain chemistry changes too. And that can make closeness feel distant, especially things like anxiety, depression, fatigue, like you're not feeling well, you're hanging out on the couch, you're getting nervous with any energy expenditure you have to have, or you just don't have any energy expenditure. It isn't that you don't love the person, right? It's that your body's out of rhythm. And just remember that, like, there's something you can do about it that makes everything better. And I hope listening to this episode helps you see that. Okay. So I'm going to talk about couples here for a second. And remember, there are some segments about couples and physical intimacy, but there's a lot of it more about getting you reset. Okay, and connecting to those rhythms that help reset you. The most obvious conflict happens with physical intimacy and low libido a in a couple, right? Dynamic, all right. You know, someone feels in mood, that's good. Someone doesn't, right? You have to kind of align those things. But healing starts small with that, with simple, intentional moments. And I give my patients a prescription for date night. I say it's your date night contract. One evening a week, it's set, and you do something together. You're not responding to children, right? You're not responding to parents. You no phones, no chores, no pressure. It's just time to reconnect. And it doesn't mean you have to go and sit for 2 hours and like eat something that's going to make you not feel good. You can go for a walk. You can go do something enjoyable that builds you up, right? Like, I mean, a sport, right? Like something you both enjoy. So, well, racquetball, tennis. Um, get out there and go do something that just is just fun. In Michigan and other places, take a little drive and watch the leaves change. But it's an evening a week, right? And it's set, and it's really not negotiable. That's the cool thing about it. Because you're making a commitment to the other person, okay? And when you do that, it's the laughter that happens, right? It's just implementing like the consistency, right? You might have more eye contact. You're laughing again. You might be, you know, joking and playing and having fun, and that's how you rebuild that bridge. And I'll teach you another thing, and I can have this as like a separate video so you can see it too. But I call it circles and lines, and it's really quite simple because what I'll talk about in a few minutes is actually like some like tools, like things you can do. But one thing that always kind of strikes me is people are like, yeah, they I was told to give my partner a massage. So again, this is intimacy, but it doesn't have to be just sexual intimacy. It can also be a non-sexual relationship with like a sibling, a parent, a child, where you're doing circles and lines. So basically you don't have to get in there and do the whole neck massage and back massage. I mean, seriously, especially when people are tired and they're like, oh yeah, give someone else a massage. Like, I always crack me up. So whether you're laying there, sitting on the couch, whatever, um, circles and lines. So basically, it's a line like on the hand, okay, and whenever you any kind of solid bone or straight bone, and then it's a circle around the joints, and then you go to the line, and then you go up and you do the line again, right? And then you go up and you do the circle. So you're just kind of making all that happen, right? So lines for the bones and joints for the circles, and then you just kind of just bring that through each time you go up. So it's a very simple. It's really more about touch, but it really helps the other person feel calm and release, and just make sure you kind of get that out from the fingertips. And now you feel better, they feel better, you haven't exerted a lot of energy, you've had physical touch. Again, this can be non-sexual, but physically connecting with another person that you love and care about. Just remember that. And it can also lead to more if intimacy if it is about a sexual relationship, right? So it's just getting comfortable, getting back in the seat again. Okay, so I want to give you some other practical options. Okay, and I think these tools really help. So first one I'm going to talk about is maca root. Maca is in some things you can actually sometimes find in different coffee shops, and some people go crazy with maca. It is a natural aphrodisiac for some people, and they'll just light right up. So be a little careful and make sure if that's you have a partner, because maca is it's a natural energy. It's an herb. I think it comes from Peru. Anyway, it does support hormone stimulation for both men and women. So if you're not in a relationship, but you might have some sexual eh, provocation with maca root. I like the brand Navitas. Very simple, Navitas. You can find that at most health food stores, but it's good. And then you can dose. You can add it to smoothies, and you can, you know, make a tea, whatever. So next, DHEA, as I said, that's a really great one to get your adrenal support going. It can lift your mood, spark your motivation. So if you're working with a functional medicine doctor, you might want to talk to them about it. I happen to love it in my practice. Next, there's a few other things that are really simple for making hormones. Vitamin D, okay? So vitamin D, omega-3s, those are really essential. Okay, another one that I like is called Scream Cream. So this is definitely from my gynecology perspective. So Scream Cream is a doctor prescribed topical, right, cream that helps with sensitivity and blood flow. So that has to be prescribed. But I want you to be aware of it on the market, right? It's called Scream Cream for a reason. Um, Game on, that's what I say. So in the meantime, some health to improve the integrity of gynecologic tissue can be done with KPS Essentials Face and Body Treatment. And we do have that online at Shop VRX. I make a point of that because it's so good for your body to heal and get that nourishment. And that's what happens with KPS's vitamin C face and body. And it's very able to be applied to all the tissues. Okay. And then, of course, there's always looking at kind of a bigger picture about, cleaning up the system, intermittent fasting, detoxing, but we're also talking about sugar balances and things like that. So, how do you know those things? Get your labs tested, right? Check out what your labs already may have been tested on some of these things. And you may need to know what the functional medicine optimization levels are instead of just hearing everything's fine, everything's normal. Okay. Because testing gives us a lot of information. It's a miracle what we can test. It's absolutely amazing. I want to go into a few mind body integration things, okay? Healing your hormones, it's not just about the supplements and the pills and the creams and the lab numbers, okay? It's about learning to listen to your body again. And that is such a pivotal message. I want to say it again. It's learning to listen to your body again. So trusting your body. Start small. I'll give you just a few little tips. Maybe you can pick one. Okay. So stretch instead of scrolling late at night, or not even late at night, right? Just pick a bedtime and stick to it. And that can be hard, but I can tell you if you are in bed at 9:30 every night for 30 days, your life's going to be different. All right, take a walk. I mean it. Just take a walk. A lot of people say just walk your mood off, right? I love this one of the idea of lifting something heavy. I just lifted something heavy today. I was like, gosh, this is heavy and it feels great because that will help you build testosterone. It gives you power. It surges through you, right? It's like, oh, yeah. And it doesn't have to be super heavy, but let it be something. Let it be something notable, right? And lift it with pride. Again, there's someone in the world that can lift something more heavy than what you can lift. That doesn't matter. Lift something that you think is heavy and be feel that physical congratulations. Like, yes, I lifted it. It was heavy. And I just did that today and I was like, yes, it was heavy. I lifted it and I carried up a flight of stairs. So I was like, yes. That yes feeling can feel really good. Those wins, right? This is what this is about. Small steps that are wins. And I like to breathe deep before any kind of little thing, like you open up your laptop or you sit in the car, but I like to breathe differently than other people say. I like to exhale first. So just get that out, get that away. Just right? And the inhale comes in more naturally and has more space to come in. Of course, I truly believe people have a mind body improvement when they receive physical body work like acupuncture, osteopathic manipulation, massage. There are a lot of things to do. You could do the float tanks, right? Where you're just right? Okay. And then there's a really exciting procedure that I hope you all know about and I want you to know about. It's called platelet rich plasma. Platelet rich plasma injections are a procedure done by a lot of great doctors. The reason I say that is it is coming from your own body. Can you believe it? So, no risk for infection, no risk for inflammation. Okay, that's not a little bit of inflammation, sorry. No risk for infection, no risk for rejection. That's what I meant to say. Little bit of a risk for inflammation, obviously, because it's your body's platelets and that stores a lot of your immune system activation. So, the reason for that is tissue rejuvenation. And you know where I'm going with this conversation, right? Low libido, compromised vitality can often have a physical reason. So if there's gynecologic or, man part problems, then, with performance or with confidence or with, you know, the bladder's having problems, the vagina's having problems, the prostate's having problems, the penis is having problems. If these are problems, you can do something about it. So, first of all, I realize injections and this area of the body are not the most comfortable conversation together, but that's what numbing medicine is for. And believe it or not, for women, when I do this procedure, it's often more comfortable than a regular gyne exam. So, let me explain again. Platelet rich plasma, often called PRP, injections. It's a procedure. It's commonly known as the O shot for women and the P shot for men. Okay. So it's available to both men and women. And I offer it to women in my clinic at the Michigan Center for Holistic Medicine. The results are absolutely phenomenal. They're quick acting, they're long lasting, and they're very impactful. I mean, they really, to see someone smile, go home, feel better, know their tissues healing in like less than an hour procedure, it's so great. It's so great. Okay. So just know that you have a lot of tools now after today's conversation and presentation to get that feeling of vitality back. Okay. So I know you're caring for other people and you think, oh, I'll just take care of this another day or whatever. It's never going to get better. It's never going to get better is up to you. Okay. But your body is saying, hey, I have a problem. Like I'm losing interest, I'm losing joy, right? And you don't want to disconnect from your partner. You don't want them to disconnect from you. You don't want your loved ones to disconnect from you because they feel lonely or sad or they're starting to pull away. And so you want to find these connections. Again, libido is a lot about personal confidence. It's a lot about vitality, okay? And then you get into things like sexual desire and physical intimacy that has a sexual dynamic, or just physical intimacy about hugging and touching and connecting with another human being. It doesn't have to be sexual. And of course, it's not about performance, it's about being present, right? So that's really important. So I hope today's episode really hit home and connect to our email so that you can get this handout that I have. It's great. It's just like ways to go, way to do it, and get it done and feel better and then be on top of it and like then see what life brings you. So it's really about remembering how good it feels to feel fully alive. Again, please like this episode. Please leave a comment about like, you know, if you're, feeling that it makes sense to you or can't wait to get started, something like that. And then jump on our email list. So we can start getting this stuff to you. All right. All the many blessings to you and thank you again.